66 or 67. Anyway, since the late 60s, we've been seeing this, and we just came through a long, hot summer last year. Well, before the last election, right? To the last couple of years. And all understandable because this is just a valid a response. It's an understandable, response to the injustices that, 43, overthrow all colonial governments before I'm sorry, a cloud went over the window. Overthrow all colonial governments before native populations are ready for self-government. That's true. This pertains to Africa and some others. There were, and maybe this is too dry for many people, but many of the countries in Africa were, still under the influence of the colonial governments, and they weren't yet set up uh, to be able to self-govern, and that's a whole different story. I'm not going to get into the whys of that. But they wanted a destabilization effort in Africa. And this is why so many of the proxy wars between the United States and Russia were fought in Africa, because they destabilized the governments. They got the indigenous people, the local people to want to take over the governments. There wasn't infrastructure. There wasn't all sorts of reasons they weren't able to do it there. And communism and the Soviet bloc, they do extremely well in chaos, and they go in there to straighten out the chaos, and then they have their finger in there. 44, internationalize the Panama Canal. Thank you, Jimmy Carter. 45, the last one, repeal the Connolly Reservation to the U.S. so the U.S. cannot prevent the World Court from seizing jurisdiction over domestic problems. Give the World Court jurisdiction over nations and individuals alike. That means you and I should be directly under the authority of not of American courts, but of the world courts. Now, I think this has probably gone on pretty long, but it took that long to go through this. The point of this is that we have been involved in a war that most people are not aware we are. I won't even say fighting, because we haven't been fighting this war. We've simply been losing this war because the other side has been fighting it. They knew exactly what they were going to do. They had a plan to do it, and they have followed their plan, and they did it without firing a shot. This is why I encourage, my friends out there who say we need to, raise up and go kinetic. The other side didn't do that. The other side applied themselves to the political process. They have all but destroyed our country through the political process, through legal means. The reason they've been able to do that is because the people on our side would not engage. Why wouldn't they engage? Well, most of us are too busy working. We're just trying to do what's right. We're not trying to overthrow anything. It's always those who are trying to overthrow something can do very well when the defenders of the thing they're trying to overthrow won't engage them back. And most of our side has been ignorant at it. And then those of us who knew what was going on simply haven't worked hard enough in response. And so, have we lost America? I think that's a good question. Depends on what you think America is. Is the fight over? Hopefully not. I would hope that it not be. But I think that most people don't have a clue about these 45 goals. And if more people did, and that's why I hope you will send this to a lot of people, please do. You can say, the guy talks slow and he's got a cold and it's not very exciting today. He's not going to lift up his arms and call for rebellion and all these kinds of things. And that's because that's not the way to respond to this. If we're going to take back, and there are some who say it can't be done. I understand that. To be honest, I have one foot in that ring. I am determined, however, to, no matter what happens with this country, to do things that that allow me and mine to do well. And I address that on Patreon a little bit with lessons from the Godfather. But here we're talking about the main fight for the soul of our country. And whether we can do anything about it or not, this is why. The things that I just read are why it's happened. I hope that you'll take some time, look into this for yourself, rewatch this so you can hear the goals that I read. Think about it yourself. Talk about it with your friends. The only other alternative is just to roll over and let it happen to you. So there will be plenty who will do that and say, well, it's just too hard. And I have things on my mind. And after all, the football season's about to start. And I have much more important things to do. And bread and circuses, that's what has brought us down. And that's what is going to continue to take us down if we don't develop a unified and organized response to this, which maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll see. But anyway, I just want to throw that out there for you all to consider, for you all to know. And I hope that you'll share it with other people, and we'll see if anything can be done about it. Let it go at that. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And knowledge is one of the most important foundational elements of preparation and how we prepare well. Again, I apologize for the cold. I hope this didn't put you to sleep. I hope it wasn't too tough to listen, except for how tough it is to listen to what they laid out they were going to do to our country, and they did. But you all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.